So this whole story, uh, as I come to the end here, this whole story of Genesis 2 and 3, it exists not to focus on the paradise that was lost, as it were, but rather on the reality that we see around us. Why is it, the story asks, why is it that we have to work the ground to get food? Why doesn't it just grow for us? Right? And again, that's a particularly pressing question in Israel, where you have to work so hard to get the food out of the ground. Why do we have to have children in order to provide labor? Why don't we live forever? Right? These are the questions. Speaking of why don't we live forever? Once Adam and Eve have eaten from the tree of knowledge, suddenly God is scared. Right? What if now they eat from the tree of life? Now, does that suggest that they hadn't eaten from the tree of life yet? But before this, it seems clear that they were expected to live forever, so maybe they had eaten from the tree of life. So I think that it helps here to distinguish between the two trees. The tree of knowledge is like, the tree of life, I guess, is is not a like one bite deal. It's not a you take a bite from the fruit of the tree of life and you now live forever. It's the kind of thing where like you keep eating from it and you keep living, right? Like a fountain of youth sort of thing. Um, it also helps here, I think, to think of godliness or godlikeness as entailing two things, right? Knowledge and immortality. That's what makes a divine being, right? It has greater knowledge than us, and it has immortality. And the story tells us you can have either one, but you can't have both. So once they eat from the tree of knowledge, which is a one bite deal, right? You eat from it and now you know the things. Once they've eaten from the tree of knowledge, the tree of life and eternal life are now off the table because you can't have both. They had one, they chose the other. The whole story is the explanation for why life is hard. And again, particularly the kind of agricultural, difficult life that ancient Israelites were accustomed to. Why is life hard? This story is the explanation. But it's also not all bad, right? Uh, what this story opens the door to our world, right? The world we live in, with all of its joys and its sorrows, and its pleasantness and its labors. Right? This story is the inauguration, the beginning of human culture. Start with clothing, and we go from there. Uh, this is why we're different from animals. It's not because of original sin, it's because of an original choice, the choice of knowledge over immortality. And I bet faced with those two options, most of us would make the same choice.